Okay, are you guys able to hear me now? Maybe I don't have to. Oh, great. Yeah, sorry guys. Sometimes I forget that I'm using two devices and I almost forget which one my headset's hooked to. So, yay me. There we go. You know my issue now. Hang on just a second. All right. Well, I'm glad to see everybody tonight. Loves to lurk. Thank you for being here. Murph's Turf. Um, I don't really have a specific case to talk about. I just thought we could talk about them all because a lot happened last week with Crystal Rogers, and then we've had a couple new missing persons cases that came to our attention. Kidnapping trial getting ready to go on, so lots to talk about. Hmm. Okay, so the person you see on your screen is 20-year-old DJ Witt. Um, oh, it breaks my heart, guys. He's somebody's little boy. Look at his little face. He's been beat up. Um, I just kind of wanted to start talking about him. He's missing from Casey County, Kentucky. He has also possibly been seen or has been seen in Pulaski County, which is a neighboring county to him. Uh, Anybody from there that's in the Clifty Road area, kind of be on the lookout. I've seen where people in the area are leaving signs out with coats and water and to let him know that his mom has his phone and all kinds of good stuff. It's just a lot of positive that I'm seeing. Um, so that's always good. Outside of that, there's also some negative. We'll start with our sheriff's department here. They made a post about this baby. Okay, it says Sheriff Bobby Jones would like the community to be aware of a wanted individual. David J. Witt of Casey County is currently wanted on 3 felony warrants stemming from assaults on law enforcement in Pulaski and in Casey County. On September 19th, 2023, Deputy Logan Crabtree responded to North Highway 837 on a report of a suspicious juvenile prowling around the neighborhood. Deputy Crabtree located the subject, later identified as DJ Witt, age 20, who fled from him. As a result of the pursuit, Deputy Crabtree suffered a fractured radius to his left arm. They had to mention that because, Deputy Crabtree, he couldn't run correctly, so he fell and hurt his arm. No, guys, sorry, I'm being a little pissy. I just don't like what I see. It's just, it's a crock, and you all see what I'm talking about here in a minute. It says previous to this incident, on September 17th, 2 Casey County deputies responded to domestic on Parton Ridge Road. Upon arrival, deputies observed Witt arguing with a female and female adult, striking the female in the face. While deputies were attempting to place Witt under arrest, he began to fight. During the altercation, Witt was able to gain control of the deputy's taser and use it against him. Witt was eventually taken into custody and lodged in the Casey County Detention Center for public intoxication. He was charged with assault fourth, resisting arrest, assault third, a police officer, and fleeing and evading in the second degree. So just keep in mind what they just told you. They just told you that this 20-year-old boy was able to, and he's not a big guy, he's smaller. I think he's not much bigger than me, and I'm a little person. So I think he's like, I don't know. We'll see on his, we'll look at his missing poster here in a minute. We'll see exactly. But I know he isn't like maybe 120 pounds or so. Like he's not a big dude. So they want you to believe that with his build and his 20 years on this earth, getting him ready for this match with this deputy, he was able to gain control of his taser. um, Casey County, if that's what it takes to get your deputy's taser, you may want to find somebody else to deputize. Because let me tell you what, there is bigger and badder out there than DJ Witt. I would have been embarrassed to even put this in here. Hmm, okay. Says then on September 30th, 2023, Pulaski County Deputy Daniel Drury responded to Spa Cemetery Road in reference to a status check. Upon arrival, Deputy Drury made contact with David Witt. 911 dispatch advised that Witt had been reported missing by his mother, but he had no warrants against him. As a courtesy to Witt, Deputy Drury offered him a ride to the sheriff's office where his mother could pick him up. And just to recap, hmm, right, I can't help it. I'm a boy mom, and I know that this could be any of our little boys. And when it comes to my kids, your kids, I don't care whose kids. I have to speak my mind because there's something fishy going on here, and this is somebody's baby. Hey, single mom, good to see you in here. Okay, and so to recap, what it's saying is that Deputy Jury showed up, for a status check. Basically, the individual's house that DJ showed up at was concerned because they thought he was a boy, a 15-year-old boy, and they seen where he had been roughed up, and they wanted to do a welfare check on him. So that's why you know, the deputy was called out when he here in Pulaski. And then they're saying that when he got there that he didn't have any warrants. However, his mom had reported him missing, but no warrants against him. So, as a courtesy, Deputy Jury put him in his county funded car off the clock, or maybe on the clock. That's not really clear, but put him in his car to offer him a ride home. Or I don't back to the shirt. At this point I don't know what he did. All I know is that he was being really nice and gave the kid a ride is what this going story is. That's what they would like you to hear. But at any rate, that's the reason that Deputy Drury is giving for him not placing him in cuffs. I guess that's to cover that is what I assume. However, what the official police statement is that Witt was not under arrest or in custody, so he was not placed in cuffs, and Deputy Drury felt no threat from him. So during the ride back to the sheriff's office, Deputy Drury kept the sliding partition open so they could communicate with each other. While the deputy was speaking with 911 dispatch on the phone, Witt came through the partition and began to assault Deputy Drury. After attempting to disarm him of his duty weapon, Deputy Jury was able to fend off Witt and deployed his taser, which had little to no effect on Witt. Witt fled the scene, ignoring orders to stop. Special response teams were called out to search for Witt, but he was not located. Hmm. That alone, does anybody see what's wrong with what I just that little portion that when I started reading before? And I mean, just those few sentences, there's so much wrong. Um, Outside of the fact, that I done addressed with him putting him in his cop car and him not being under arrest, just taking that up on himself to do it. They're saying that during the ride back, while the deputy was on the phone with 911 dispatch, um, and driving, he has the partition open, which is that little window, and he has a strange kid back here and well, this strange man back in his back seat, he doesn't know him. He's giving him a ride home. They've been a status call on him. Something's up anyways. But Deputy Drury don't care. He's just gonna leave the window open. He's just living on a prayer. And then they say that he jumps through and tries to get his weapon, like his pistol is the way I take it, and then he was able to hit DJ with a taser. Okay, I have so much, I don't even have to go any more into that. Um, Thank you. And see, this is what DJ and his family have working in their favor is they're dealing with really incompetent law enforcement. So as long as they cross their T's, dot their I's, and get a lawyer, this should be cleared up, surely to goodness. Because if regular people like me could sit here and read this and find a lot wrong with it, imagine what somebody with a legal background can do. Hmm. They're claiming that he went through that little divide window. Exactly, loves to lurk. That's what I read. Um, and I have issues with that. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm any kind of saint. I've been in the back of a cop car before. I've never tried to hide that. I'm not some kind of, bad criminal or nothing, but hey, it happens to the best of us. And the window, I don't think it was left open, but I remember there being a cage up. Maybe I'm old and it happened a while back, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But he didn't have a very secure vehicle if all he had was, some little glass that he could open, like some plexiglass is what I'm. Give me a second, guys. MJ's walking around. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. You might hear a little bit of background noise, but I have children, I have dogs, and if you know anything about puppers and children, you know they don't listen. These kids don't listen, these dogs don't listen, so you're going to hear something. You okay? Um, Loves Alert said he must be really talented to fit through there and grab a taser with the cop in the front. He has all that training. You haven't heard Casey County, Kentucky? That's where they train the ninjas at. And they do it so good that by the time they're 20, they're ready to go out and battle. It blows my mind. And I'll tell you what, there's people around there that's probably believing that horse shit. And that's dangerous. I guess that's what infuriates me because this is somebody's baby. This is a child. 20, I know that's considered an adult, but you're not quite grown yet. You're a child at 20. He doesn't have kids. He's not, he's still. It's okay. Here, Sissy, just leave him. I'll hold him. Thank you. But, he's somebody's baby, and they're making him out to be someone very dangerous. And, out in God's country, it scares a person that may believe this stuff into maybe shooting him if he shows up on their property. And that's the state of Kentucky castle law, guys. I mean, it's within their rights to do that. So the law enforcement is being very, very irresponsible with the way that they're announcing this to the public and telling lies on top of that, and or telling details that don't make sense on top of that. It's really dangerous, very dangerous. It just adds fuel to the fire. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then I also want to touch on where it said that special response teams were called out to search for Whit. Give me a moment. I'm going to pull up Pulaski County's page here, and we're going to see what this response team is. Um, because it doesn't seem like anybody that they would send out to look for. So it sounds like it, but when it reads, it doesn't read like that's what it is. You know what I mean? You'll see. Um, yes, so Casey County, Kentucky is quite small, a lot of farmland, um, not heavily populated, not a lot of stores, no Walmart, stuff like that. Pulaski County, they have the city of Somerset, which basically has a Walmart and a Texas Roadhouse and two Kroger's and $500 stores. So, it's that kind of small town Kentucky, but yes, small counties. Um, and the thing about it is, the thing that makes this even more worrisome is that when you look into Pulaski County, There's so many unsolved murders there, and there's so many people that go missing that you never hear about. It's just, it gets scary. And it seems like there's always somebody begging for help to find their loved ones, and law enforcement's already like, oh, they contacted us and we heard from them. They're fine. Um, but why would somebody contact law enforcement and not the parents? So there's just a lot of fishy stuff that comes out of those areas that makes this very concerning. Okay, so the only special response team I can find is for daggone hazmat, guys. But well, maybe that's what they're doing over there. I don't know. I guess everybody has to wear several hats. Who knows? I just thought it sounded kind of fishy that hazmat went out there, but I guess they did. There it is. They got it on their page. So it may or may tell what they did. I don't know. They supposedly helped try to locate him, but they couldn't. So, um, once again, DJ Witt was able to overpower a law enforcement officer with no weapon and outrun or outwit a special response team that was called to search for him immediately. Um, okay. It'll say, goes on to say that a felony warrant was issued on October 1st, 2023 for assault on the third of a police officer, criminal mischief. They did all the little charges they could. Talks about two additional felony warrants were issued on October 3rd in Casey County. So Casey County is kind of slow. Um, I just get it turned around. Did he initially it happened in Casey and end up in Pulaski and then back in Casey? It's all jumbled up. But I do see that Pulaski charged him on the first and Casey charged him on the third. So, and then initially when they picked him up, he wasn't charged of anything. Remember, that's why they couldn't take him in. So, why did it take so long to get charges? Exactly. Exactly. And this is why she's saying that he needs help. If let me yeah, here. Let's go back to the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office page here. Uh, Comments on the local paper is better, but I was trying to pull them up real quick before I hit live and I just couldn't find them. But maybe I'll be able to soon. Oh, hang on. That is not who we wanted. Okay. Are you guys able to see this? Let me look over here. Sorry, I've got them in two different. Yeah, okay. You can see what I'm doing. Hmm. So, of course, there is some intelligent people out there. This girl, mental health is real, and I wish you all would take it more serious. I'm praying for him. Um, and that's the way we should all be looking at that, I think. Yeah, you should be on your guard because he's obviously having a mental break. But, don't treat him like he's coming to steal something or to kill your family. He's not some hardened criminal. He's a boy. I'm typing a paper, eating chips, and listening. I'm not good at multitasking, and I'm ahead. I'm stuck on him assaulting a police officer twice and assaulted a woman in front of a police officer the first time. He may be young, but he can physically harm. Um, there's there's a there's some details that I can't say anything about because I've been asked not to. Uh, let's just say he has a rock star mom and she has documented everything that's happened from the beginning. and she is catching them in their fibs. So hopefully soon this will all be over and everyone will know the full truth. But yeah, I do find it. But this is the thing. Mom, when she called him in missing, let them know that he was acting out of character. Uh, it isn't known if he got a head injury or if he, had some sort of mental break. But when he was took to the hospital, which when we get down in the comments, you'll see when he was took to the hospital, he tested negative for all drugs except for THC. And you can't tell me that THC made anybody do anything like that or put him out of his mind. I don't buy it for 1 minute. But his potassium was off. I think it was either high or low. I think it might have been high, whichever way makes you crazy because I Googled it. But his potassium was off, some other things. He wasn't in good health. Instead of contacting someone to get him or, whatever they done, took him to jail and released him. Um, they didn't give him any medical attention. You know, I personally feel like it's a mental break. Right, right. No, I know what you're saying. I want to be careful. I don't want to paint him too violent because they make him sound so violent. And I know when we see these police documents, that's what we want to believe. That's what we kind of have to believe and what we're true crime enthusiasts. That's what we do. We gather the documents and we read them and we figure stuff out. We talk about it. And his documents they're scary because that could be any of ours that was in his shoes, that popped up in that county kind of thing is the way I feel. Mhm. Yeah, he definitely could be. Yeah, that's why if anybody sees him, I wouldn't approach him or anything. That's what I'm saying. Don't treat him like a killer or somebody coming to steal from you because they're not. But, I would just go ahead and call 911 or, if you know his mom is somebody close by, do that number because, yeah, he's definitely, from what we can gather, he's not himself at all, ever. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm afraid of because, every day that goes by and the area that he's supposedly in is very it's not very forgiving, I don't think. Creeks and stuff. So I mean, yeah, you could survive. Right now it's getting cooler and it's pretty cold at nights and word is he ain't got some of his clothing anymore, so he could be getting cold. I think that's why people are leaving in coats. Um, It's just a mess, guys. It's just a really big mess. I really hope somebody finds him and he gets some medical attention and they're able to clear all this up. Yes. And that's the thing, Murphs. Mom gets an attorney and she's golden. I mean, the only way she can mess up now is not get him an attorney. That's the only thing that can hold him back. Because like I said, they crossed their T's and dotted their I's, thankfully. I'm gonna just try to scroll on down here. Mm, uh, I'm not going to say people's names out loud, but some of y'all on Facebook sound crazy. Uh, well, why can't I see the one we was seeing? I know what I done, guys. I'm so sorry. Let's go to all. Okay, so this individual says, yeah, let's just skip over the fact that he was arrested in Casey County. He was taken to jail with critically low potassium, elevated white blood cell count, a major UTI, and that there was nothing in his system substance wise other than THC, and the fact that his family has been begging for assistance in locating him to get help for him for 17 days now. And that emergency management deemed dogs and search and rescue the day of his disappearance. unnecessary. So, the family had tried before any of this happened. I guess that's another thing, they tried. Hey, Purple, good to see you. Uh, they tried to get help. They tried to get him located. They knew something was going on. They knew he was in trouble. They knew he was missing. Like I said, he's somebody's son. He still lives at home with mom. Or, his mom's still there with him all the time. He still needs mom a lot. He's just 20. And they knew something was off. So when he went missing, they tried to get a missing persons report filed, and dogs or anything like that was deemed unnecessary, I guess, is what they said. So, I'll be interested to see what comes of it. Um, so, that's one thing that they for sure have documented is the hospital to show that, it's not by choice. He didn't do some drugs and go crazy, and he didn't, he had some things going on, and then there's locals. Y'all put a warrant on somebody that's been missing since the 17th of September. Of course, they don't know everything that went on. Somebody commented, I don't trust a thing they have to say. I seen the lies the police tells in Boyle and Mercer County, which is some nearby counties that have a lot of unsolved crimes too, if you look at them. Hmm. William Gobble, or I'm sorry, I don't want to say nobody's name. It says they're just trying to cover him messing up by posting this. I'm sure the officer had someone else in custody, not DJ, but since they failed to dispatch search and rescue to get him mental help, here we are. I'm sure a made up story because they have a person missing in their county with mental illness and it makes them look bad for not helping the family find him to get him help. So I've seen a few of those. I'm going to see if I can find the local paper real quick before we wrap it up with him because there was a comment on there that I wanted to put out there. Yeah, and I think that was another thing that people are questioning. One of the times that he was in custody, his name and birth date was just thrown out, but an ID or anything wasn't made, and his description didn't fit DJ's description, I guess. There was some kind of question there. So there's a question whether that was him or not. That's why I say possibly seen in both counties, I guess. Thank you, Purple. I appreciate it. I would share your link, Purple, but I have these two devices going, and neither one of them, I don't have the ability to do that because if I open YouTube, I get kicked out. I can't share what happened during the first arrest. I haven't seen it publicly said. And I really want to talk to his family first. Last they told us was that they would like to hear what we had to say before we said it, and I promised them that. All I'm saying tonight is stuff that's already public that anybody can find those. So just trying to get the information out there before I sit down and really decide to dig my heels into this. It's really close to home, guys. Yeah, I want to go through all the arrests with them and get the correct order because this is all jumbled to me and I'm pretty familiar with it. I can imagine someone just coming into this case and looking at it, they're going to be confused too. Hello, company's coming. Welcome. Thank you, Loves Alert. You guys go sub up to Purple. When nobody else is live, she is. Um, she's always over there having a conversation about something. You go over there, get you a cup of Kool-Aid, and enjoy your time. Okay, I'm gonna try to pull up the third paper here. Let's see. Hey, Levelhead, it's good to see you. I was just reading it earlier, and it was at like the top of their feed, but it was getting pretty ugly. So I'm wondering if they kept it up or not. We shall see. It's probably a little. Mm, ugh. Yeah, I'll go join the cult. Murph said, I found an article that describes 917, 919, and a 930 incident. Hmm. See, 17th is when he was initially reported missing, I think. That's what it said. Let me know if I'm wrong, Loves Alert, because you know how I get these details wrong. My mind is not great, guys. I like to, get into this stuff and read it, but my memory stinks so bad. Yeah, I think the 17th is when he went missing and that they reported him missing. But as far as the 19th and the 30th, I'm not sure which incident. I think the 19th occurred in Casey County and the 30th occurred in Pulaski. So Casey County would have been the first incident they talked about. And then next with Deputy Drury, that would be the one in Pulaski because he's a Pulaski deputy. So I'm thinking that's the September 30th one. But at any rate, this is my question. Do you all see this a lot? Oh, hello, Linda Marie. Nice to see you. Um, have you all seen anyone commit crimes like 19th and 30th, and then when the family starts pressing around 4 or 5 days later, charges start coming out? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever paid that close attention to see how long it took for a charge to come about, or that I've ever been curious about it before like I am now, but I just felt like they come out with charges late, especially Casey. Casey County, you would think they would have came out with charges before Pulaski County, but instead, it just kind of looks like they. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe that's the way it works in small town. I don't know. Okay, here it is. They didn't take it down. Mm. Okay, all that is up here. You click on that, and this is going to tell us the same thing that was on their sheriff's page. They put it in the local paper there in Pulaski County. So let's see. And okay, so when it comes to Pulaski County, I can tell you that it's one of those places. It's small town USA. It's not what you did, it's who you know. And I mean, it's a small town. It's crooked. You can go and Google them. You'll see where Mike Wallace, their old police chief, he's been arrested for a bunch of crap and charged for it, where he was doing illegal stuff for years. That lots of women in the county try to tell everybody, but they were just losers. They were just dope heads. Hear him tell it. Well, those dope heads were right, dude. You're in prison now. So there's a lot of crap like that goes on. The felony warrant and then two more on the third. Hmm. Well, that's not as long as I thought. Maybe it just sounded like longer because I'm thinking in my mind that he had been missing for the 17th of September to then, I guess in my mind, I played it out a little more dramatic, I guess, in my head. Yeah, that's what I thought that the Casey County warrants had came after. Hmm. So that was somebody talking about the jail system being crappy, which you're going to see everywhere. Um, it's an individual that said this young man is believed to have a mental break. He isn't thinking clearly, and it isn't drugs. Please, if you see him, just call 911 or his mama. He's someone's baby boy. Also, in the Clifty Road area, please be on the lookout for him. Seen people setting out coats of water, a reminder that good people are still out there. Because, this is a place, like I said, it's God's country, so there's a lot of good people, thank goodness. But, It's also Kentucky and it's castle law, and it is dangerous for you to go on other people's property unannounced or uninvited. So, hi, Ava, how are you? Okay. Hmm. I'm not going to read that one. That one might be a little hurtful to the family. There was one on here caught my eye. I think they might have removed it. Okay, it says someone on here says his family's been asking to see the body cam to prove this. They know he's not a threat to anyone. He needs to be found and hospitalized. Uh, so, word on the street is that body cam's been requested. And then another individual from their business account, and in a small town, it means a lot when you're commenting from your business account. They say, yeah, there's something about body cams in Somerset, Kentucky. They seem to always be turned off when mugshots are taken of badly beaten, supposed to be bad criminals. Um, and you hear that a lot. So, mm. And then people go on to say the hope that they get the dash cam videos, the body cams of all the officers. Um, this person's demanding for the Pulaski County Sheriff to give it to them because where it is, they're not being cooperative. Um, they're telling them to be transparent, stop hiding the truth from the public. They see a lot of beat up inmates, so shame on them. It says we, the people, need to start a FOIA. All videos, all dash cams. This department is corrupt as hell. I hope this boy is found and gets the help he needs. So that's a little peep into some things that aren't really being put out, to kind of let you know where frustrations and what's being ran into here. But like I said, luckily he has a very smart mother. I definitely will. I definitely will. I don't know if they're going to do anything like that. Um, hopefully he'll be back soon. But I don't know if they're going to do anything like that. But I do know, speaking of funds, and again, they're not asking for anything, and I don't know that I look for them to. If it carries on for a long time, they may need help because law enforcement's not giving it to them. But I do know that they are funding their own searches. Um, I don't want to say too much, but they're paying out of pocket to get things done. This mama's really doing everything she can. Mhm. All right, so that's one of my new ones. I'm going to pull his picture really quick here. Hmm, let's see. Take me 1 second here. It never wants to do what I want it to do when I'm switching screens. That's okay. Okay. So let me know. Can you see that yet? Maybe? Okay, there it is. This is his missing poster. There's also a black and white one that has another picture, but these were some color photos that we were able to get. Um, it's missing David DJ Witt. Like I said, he's 20 years old, white male, brown hair, brown eyes, 120 pounds, and 5'11". So I went way off. He's not much bigger than me, 5'6", 120. So yeah, he's and like I said, guys, I know that don't mean nothing. Size don't mean nothing. And I'm not just trying to sit over here and call people, liars or anything like that. It's just the math ain't mathin' for me when it comes to this. It's not. But anyways, it says other information last seen on September 19th, 2023 at the Pulaski Casey line on Highway 837 around 6:30 p.m. He was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, red baseball shorts, and no shoes. Um, Possible sighting near Clifty Road area. If you've seen David or have any information on his disappearance, please call or contact Nellie at 606-706-2176 or contact dispatch, which is 911. So either or, and guys, moms, nobody's putting their number, no family's putting their number on there to try and evade law enforcement. The reason the number's on there is because in these areas, they are illegal people. And those people might very well be the people that sees him because he's out in the woods. He's out in that area probably, he could be around them. So if it's somebody that does not want to contact law enforcement, they can contact them and they'll contact law enforcement. They're not going to go out there and try and scoop him up and take him somewhere or nothing. So I wanted to get that out there too. It just occurred to me how that might look. All right. And then outside of DJ, there's another one. It'll take me a second though. I'm waiting on his stuff to download. Have you all seen the Crystal Roger updates? Mr. Brooks Hoke was arraigned, or I always say it wrong. Brooks Hauk. There we go. He was arraigned this past week, and oh my. Or no, wait, they had a bond hearing maybe. But anyways, bombshells were dropped about Tommy Ballard's case. Really? I didn't know that. Our star says, I don't know his mental health symptoms, but schizophrenia is typically diagnosed in boys 18 to 25-ish, paranoia, confusion, etc. Um, I don't know much about schizophrenia. Would that cause somebody to think that they were younger than they actually were? I just, something. Hmm. Whatever it is, I hope it's something that's able to be quickly diagnosed and took care of because from what I hear, he was an outstanding young man until September 17th when he started acting strange. No drugs, you know, went to school, was working. He's working now, so he was doing all the things he was supposed to be doing. Um, Up until then, that's when the change was seen. So who knows? I don't even know how something like that comes on. Is it sudden? Hmm, okay. I'm going to pull up YouTube and get caught up on the Crystal Rogers case here. Like I said, Brooke Hawks had a hearing this past week. And it sounds like we should be seeing some more arrests and things. Oh wow. Then yeah, that could very be that could be what it is. If it comes on suddenly, then I mean that wouldn't surprise me. Hmm. It's so wild. The mind is mild is can be a complicated thing. Hello, Lady Spitfire. How are you? Okay, they have a full video of it, and that's the one I'm going to pull up. However, I'm going to have to fast forward through some of it because I don't want to listen to the whole thing. But when y'all see his mom, let me know if you think if she looks like Gypsy Rose's mama. Because I'm telling you what, I thought I was looking at her for a minute earlier when I was going back over this. It was crazy how much they look alike. Right? Didn't mind either, but I don't know anything about stuff like that. I've never had any experience with that, depression, anxiety, bipolar, and stuff like that, but schizophrenia, I had no idea that it comes on so suddenly. I'm doing well, Lady Spitfire. Just we were talking about missing DJ Whit out of Case County, Kentucky, and some circumstances surrounding that. Hopefully soon we can talk about it freely and kind of educate people or let them know what's going on around in these areas because that's the only way it's going to change. Hmm. Nice. Good thinking. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and did you all, how many of you all seen Brooks Arraignment already? Mm. Murph says, schizophrenia doesn't always present itself in the same way. It varies. If he's paranoid and confused, that could have been the start of his symptoms. Hmm. Yeah. And that's so funny. I thought I'd accidentally turned all my cameras on when I seen that. It was the same color. Anyways, never mind. Um, yeah, where it's a small area and stuff, I think we would have seen more of he done this, he done that in the comments. That's what I usually see when I'm looking into petty crimes when they post them, like in Wayne County, Casey County, Pulaski County, all those little counties, when they post stuff there, these petty crimes or anything, people will be underneath there. Yeah, glad they finally caught him. They didn't do nothing to him when he did X Y Z. So people will talk on Facebook like that, and I don't see nothing like that on any of his stuff. So I believe them when they tell me that he was never in trouble before, or that he was a good boy. Okay, fast forward this here. Well, I think I went too far. 'Cause now he's a talking. Um, hang on. I think I know why I don't have sound. Just a second.
Well, are you guys
Did
able
you
to
not
hear
hear that at
that?
all? I didn't touch anything, I promise. I really don't know. Oh, wait. Let's try that. I might need to add it to the stage. No. Let's see if that helps.
It starts with me.
Oh
I
no.
want my financial advisor
No
to be their
clue.
financial advisor
Can you hear it now?
so that they can know how to manage their money and their wealth.
I hope so. I hope you guys can hear it now
And a
because that's the
tragic
last
update
trick I thought. Oh wait, wrong one
out
even.
of Escambia County, Florida
Jeez.
tonight. The body of a private
Sorry.
and a tragic up.
Much, much better. Good. Always forget to add to stream when I'm screen sharing. I'll give it a minute to catch up so we don't have to,
sound like it's perfect. It doesn't sound like it's perfect for Mr. Butler.
Ugh, the sound's so horrible on all of these. Can you guys hear that at all? I could. I know the prosecution sounds a little bit louder on most of them.
Friends that love him. His son is here. His
There you
business is
go.
here. He cannot and he will not leave, and he's proven that. So I think that's important. The other aspect of this is if you have to get beyond the court's own pretrial services report to even get to the cash bond portion of this.
And for you all that
So I
haven't
submit to
seen
you,
this,
it's
it
a
is
fanciful
Brooks
speculation that he's somehow
Hawk,
fighting this.
his
The second thing the court
arraignment,
has to look at, if you get
and they're
beyond
arguing
why
to
is
get
he
his
not a
bail
low risk, why
reduced.
is
So
he
his
not a
bail was
moderate
set
risk,
at 10 million.
that he is somehow a danger to the community. The only thing that the government can point to that is the mere allegation that's been levied against him. He has no violence on his record. He has no criminal history whatsoever other than some ordinance violations related to building property, which in my mind aren't criminal acts, they're civil acts of which fines were paid. He has no criminal convictions on his record. What is that? So if the court jumps beyond low risk, jumps beyond moderate risk, and even looks at the factors you consider if you make a determination that he is somehow not one of those, you have to decide, is he likely to comply with the conditions of court? There's absolutely nothing in this record to demonstrate he won't. In fact, when the FBI arrested Mr. Houck and they released a statement to the media, one of the things that the Federal Bureau of Investigation said is he was arrested, and I quote, without incident. He didn't run, he didn't fight, he didn't do anything other than submit to their authority and was taken to jail. The next thing the court has to consider is the bond.
I apologize if somebody is watching this that hasn't seen it. I'm gonna skip through it just a little more because that's just
And I submit to you,
his defense attorney trying to save him, like they're supposed to do.
what he was charged with,
And what I wanted to talk about is what this man right here says.
Manslaughter because the witnesses were killed. The murder in this jurisdiction and in the state of Kentucky is a capital offense. He can be held without one. Brian, or Mr. Butler, defense counsel, does not know if there's aggravators in this case or not. We don't have to file aggravators. But we didn't ask for no bond. We asked for a bond. We asked for a significant bond, a $10 million bond. Just, we kind of grew up practicing law together, and I can tell you I've never asked for a $10 million bond. This is the first multi-millionaire I've prosecuted for murder. As spoken by Justice Cooper and Judge Howard, the defendant bears the weight of an indictment. The grand jury heard this case over several months and issued an indictment. And in open court, concurred with the recommendation of a $10 million bond. And not only concurred with the recommendation of a $10 million bond, some of the jurors thought it should be doubled. It's not punitive. It's not oppressive. And the defendant does have a loving family. And I'm going to come back to how loving that family is. Bond is not looked at by what the crime is. We don't put a number. We don't put a number that murder requires a $1 million bond, a $500,000 bond. Each defendant is situated uniquely. And this defendant, in order to ensure compliance with the court, deserves a $10 million bond. The defendant, as Mr. Butler says, has cited numerous cases. One of the cases he cited was Mr. Howe's co-defendant, Joseph Lawrence, who's indicted on a Class B felony, criminal conspiracy to commit murder with the defendant. His bond was set at $500,000. Mr. Lawson's only sole possession is a truck. He was found naked in his only possession and arrested. He's remained incarcerated, mostly medically treated while he's been incarcerated. But he's different. $500,000 to Joseph Lawrence is $10 million. It might as well be $10 million. Here's why the Commonwealth believes that Mr. Howe's bond has been appropriately set and was recommended by the citizens of Nelson County. As stated by the Court of Appeals in 1971, the Kentucky Supreme Court at the time, it's Long versus Hamilton. A wealthy man may be required to post a higher bond than a poor man in the same type of case. Not simply because he is wealthy, but because the trial court may conclude that the prospect of the forfeiture of the smaller bond would not have sufficient deterrent effect to cause him to comply with the terms. The defendant has vast resources, Your Honor. We went through and looked at them, and to ensure his compliance with bond conditions, he deserves this type of bond. He owns a construction business with at least 3 separate companies that have substantial real estate holdings. Per the Kentucky Secretary of State, the defendant is the sole registered agent and member listed on all 3 of these companies: Houck Reynolds, LLC, Select Quality Homes, LLC, and Central Kentucky Real Estate Rentals, LLC. They were created in 2007, 13, and 22, respectively. The Commonwealth has obtained a list of the real estate holdings from all 3 companies.
Yeah, you mentioned their family, Murph. I don't know if you follow Crystal's case or not, but if you see them go to the front row, you'll see mom and daughters and stuff like that. But Sherry has lost her daughter and her husband, Tommy,
As well as
all related.
I consulted with the property valuation office in Nelson County and printed off a list of properties that are owned by those 3 companies. You'll notice on the Kentucky Secretary of State, not only is Brooks House is the only member of those companies, they're solely owned by him. The combined tax assessment for those properties owned by these 3 companies is $8,448,815. That does not include 12 pieces of property that I was unable to locate tax assessments. It also does not include 168 pieces of property that the defendant owns in Pasco Ballard Road, where his mother, as well as his sister, resides. The defendant maintains at least 74 rental properties that he is deriving income from on a monthly basis. This number, the $8 million number, does not include the money he is earning from his businesses building new homes, and does not include any type of wealth that he's amassed in his bank account, including the 2018 sale of 20-something properties for $1.8 million. The defendant is not similarly situated as the individuals that were described by the defense counsel. Simply stated, the defendant, $10 million for the defendant is a fair bond. Somebody with this vast amount of resources, $500,000 to an individual who is a multi-millionaire, when you are looking at the rest of your life in prison, is not a lot to pay to influence a case. The amount of bond is needed to ensure compliance with these conditions of release. The Commonwealth is asking this court to consider the defendant and his family's behavior during the grand jury proceedings in this matter.
Okay, this is one major thing that caught my ear, what he's
The
about to talk
defendant
about.
speaks in his motion about his loving support of his family. I completely agree. They've been supportive. This court and defense counsel are well aware of the sanctity of grand jury proceedings. It's so important the Kentucky Supreme Court gave us its own rule. Grand jury proceedings are secret. In this matter, the defendant's sister, Rhonda McAvoy Howe, brother, Nicholas Howe, mother, Rosemary Howe, brother-in-law, Alex McAvoy, and Rosemary Howe's live-in boyfriend, Larry Mott, all recorded, secretly brought in reporters and recorded the grand jury. I've been practicing here, Your Honor, for 25 years in this state, and I have yet, ever, heard of anyone recording a grand jury. I've got copies of the grand jury proceeding.
So, as you could hear, that was some new information that came out. His family, and he named off, Rosemary and all of those. Um, his family helped provide recording devices and get them into the grand jury so that they could record in the grand jury room, which is highly illegal. And the special prosecutor goes on to say that he's been for so and so 5 years and he's never seen that before. I don't know if it's common or not, but it sounds pretty risky and it sounds like going through a lot of trouble. So that was his response to him having a lovely or a loving family. So yeah, in this case, the family's pulled out all the stops for this dude. Okay, and just to save us 20 some minutes because I can hear my house starting to get a little rambunctious. It'll be time to start getting everybody calmed down for bed soon. But in the arraignment also came out that they think that they found the rifle that killed Tommy Ballard, that is Crystal's dad. They're saying that this rifle was purchased by an undercover cop from his brother Nick Houck, who had gave him a fake name and sold this rifle to a law enforcement officer. And they were able to test it. And so far, there is 5 requirements that they have to meet in order for it to be the murder weapon. And so far, it meets 4 out of the 5. So it looks like they've also got the murder weapon and hopefully cracked that case as well. But like I said, my house is getting loud. Sorry if I went on a tangent on the DJ thing. We were just chit chatting and that's what came up. But everyone, I hope you all have a lovely night and a good start to your week tomorrow. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share. I'm going to put a link to DJ's mystery poster in the description. Please go over there and share it. And we thank you all for watching. Bye.